Our next topic is energy of atom. Okay. Now, what is this energy of atom? Let me tell you. Okay. Now, according to Bohr's theory, whenever you have an electron revolving around the nucleus in a definite orbit, stationary orbit is what we are usually calling it as stationary orbit. So, like how you have stationary waves, in stationary waves energy is trapped within a finite length of this string. Okay. In similarly, okay, even in Bohr's theory, in stationary orbit, the orbit within that particular orbit, electron will have a definite amount of energy. Now, when you take this electron, okay, going between two different orbits, okay, what happens is, okay, let us say you are talking of, okay, let us say you are talking of certain terms like, okay, ground state, okay, ground state, which is n is equal to 1. Then excited state could be anything, but let us say it is your first excited state. First excited state, let us say this is n is equal to 2, that is second orbit. Second excited state, that is n equal to 3, something like this. Now, what happens here is, okay, the energy of, okay, energy of electron in the orbit is discrete. So, discrete in the sense it is having a specific value. Okay, discrete in the sense it is having a specific value. Okay, so the electron will have a specific value. Okay, now when the electron is having a specific value, what will happen is, okay, if you have some electron, okay, if you have some electron in some state, now depending upon how much energy you give, okay, it can jump into upper states. This is called as excitation. Okay, this is called as excitation of the electron. Now if electron is in some other higher orbit, okay, it could come down. This is called as de-excitation of the electron. Okay, so now when you take this excitation and de-excitation, okay, it is related to this energy of, okay, energy of electron and atom. Okay, so energy of atom and electron, it is different. I should not write atom, okay, I should have written it as electron. More specifically, I am talking of energy of electron in an atom. Okay, so now, okay, for excitation you need to supply energy. Okay, for excitation, okay, we need to supply energy. For excitation we need to supply energy to go into higher orbits. Okay, and for de-excitation, de-excitation means coming down. Okay, for de-excitation, okay, we need to or take energy, I can say, okay, for during de-excitation electron emits electromagnetic radiation to lose the energy. Okay, so while electromagnetic radiation is being emitted, energy comes out, which we will call it as spectral lines. From the discrete energy levels, when energy is being emitted, you will get discrete spectral lines. Okay, so my point is, okay, you might have studied this in chemistry, excitation and de-excitation. Okay, so I am talking of that part. Okay, so usually every electron, when it is in some stationary orbit, what will happen? It will have a fixed amount of energy. Okay, now from that particular orbit, if you want to jump to a higher orbit, what you need is excitation. And from that particular orbit, if you are going to lower orbits, okay, smaller orbits, you call it as de-excitation. Okay, so to go to higher orbits, that means during excitation we need to supply energy, and during de-excitation your electron will itself emit out energy. Okay, now, okay, we need to develop maths for this part. Okay, so how do I do that? Let me tell you. Okay, now let us say you have an orbit, okay, actually it is like this, some radius of n1 orbit, some other radius of n2 orbit. In between these two also there could be some energy levels, okay. That I am trying to represent it like this, okay. Let us say there is some state n1, there is one more state n2, okay. Now basically you have two states, okay, you basically have two states. Now in these two states, okay, one is n1 is lower state and let us say n2 is higher state, okay. Now initially let us say an electron is in this state and it wants to jump. In between also there could be energy levels, okay, I am not worried about that, okay. So let us say you have this electron, okay, and it is jumping from n1 state to n2 state. Now we have seen that, okay, every electron will have discrete energy, okay, energy of electron is discrete, okay, energy of electron is discrete. So its value is E is equal to minus 13.6 z square by n square electron volt is your energy value, okay. Now if you take this electron, okay, if you take this electron in this state, the total energy of this will be minus 13.6 z square by n1 square electron volt. In this state your E2 value is minus 13.6 z square by n2 square electron volt. Now you observe carefully, out of this which one is small means, okay, your n2 is, okay, n2 is big, okay, and with a negative sign. If you compare, like for example minus 9 and minus 6, which is big and which is small means minus 9 is small and minus 6 is big, okay. So here my point is, okay, we need to supply energy, okay, here we need to supply energy for this excitation to happen. Now for de-excitation from n2 to n1 we need to take energy or during de-excitation, okay, if de-excitation occurs, okay, energy will be emitted out in the form of electromagnetic radiation, okay. That wavelength, if it is lambda, hc by lambda is the energy emitted. Now here observe carefully, okay. Now if you take, okay, if you take the difference in energies, okay, if you take the difference in energies, so if you look at this stage, for example, when you are trying to find out the difference, this n1, for example, if this is some minus 9, this will become, let us say, minus 6, say for example, okay, that much electron volt. Why this is minus 9? Because n1 is small, okay, this magnitude will be big, n2 is slightly big, so minus 9 is very small compared to big. Now while subtraction, what will you do? To get the difference you need to always subtract, okay, such that difference should be positive. So what you will do, minus 6 minus minus 9, if you do 9 minus 6 you are going to get 3, okay. So apply this logic to get the answer, okay, apply this logic to get the answer, okay. So now if I try to apply this logic to get the answer, your energy difference delta E is, okay, it is E2 minus E1, that is minus 13.6, okay, into z square by n2 square minus 13.6 minus of minus 13.6 z square by n1 square, okay, this much electron volt in electron volt. So that will give you that energy difference between these two is 13.6 z square. If I take common out, I am going to get 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. This much is the your electron volt energy difference. Now you supply this much electron volt energy difference, okay, then what will happen is your electron will go to that state, okay, minimum this much energy is required, okay. You give random discrete values. For example, my point is, if this difference is 10 electron volt, If you supply this 10 electron volt, 10.2 electron volt, then it will jump. But if you supply some 8 electron volt, no jumping. Okay, if you supply 13 electron volt, no jumping. Okay, so the discrete energy level criteria must be satisfied. Okay, so it's not that you supply more energy, still excitation will happen. No. Okay, excitation will not happen. Excitation will happen, that particular difference criteria is particularly met. Okay, if that particular difference criteria is not met, it will not happen. Okay, so my point is, if this energy gap is, say for example 10.2 electron volt, okay, supply 6 electron volt, no. 10.2 electron volt, yes. 12 electron volt, no. Okay, that gap, okay, this is your energy gap. Okay, this you can call it as delta is energy gap. That energy gap should be met. Okay, else no spectral lines emission or nothing, no de-excitation, nothing will happen. Okay, right? So that's why I'm calling this to be discrete. Discrete means some particular value. It's not like you give anything and excitation will happen. Okay, so this is your energy difference between the orbits. Okay, come on. Now for this you can keep the heading as energy difference between electron in two different states. Okay, okay, so now next thing is, okay, wavelength of light required to excite or emitted during de-excitation. Okay, so while excitation we need to supply energy, so that energy will be supplied in the form of light, and while de-excitation what will happen is, during de-excitation energy will be emitted out. Okay, during de-excitation emission of energy will happen, during excitation absorption of energy. So that absorption of energy will give light. During de-excitation electron which is de-exciting, that will give out the required electromagnetic radiation. Okay, now what is that is, okay, we have seen that your energy of electron in N2 minus N1, okay, this is higher state, this is lower state. This energy difference is, we are getting it as 13.6 Z square times 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square electron volt. This much we have got it. Okay, now here what is that I can do is, this energy is only your energy gap, delta E. Now this delta E is what? Hc by lambda. This energy gap, okay, this energy gap, if during de-excitation if we supply this Hc by lambda, okay, what happens is your electron will just get into the higher excited state. So this Hc by lambda is, okay, this Hc by lambda is 13.6 Z square times, okay, 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square electron volt. Okay, now with this you must have clearly understood what is happening. Okay, now this Hc value, okay, this Hc value, what I will be doing is, okay, this Hc value, what I will be doing is, okay, your Hc value is 1240 electron volt nanometers divided by lambda, that is equal to 13.6 Z square times 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square electron volt. Electron volt will cancel off. Okay, so you are going to get this lambda value, okay, and your 1240 nanometers, if you send it to other side, okay, this 1240, okay, you can send it to other side and then simplify it. Okay, so that will give you some other Rydberg's constant and everything. Okay, so without making you confused, okay, I just don't want to make you confused, this 1240 nanometer you send it to other side. Okay, so you can actually substitute this Hc value and all other things, but it is not required. So without making you confused, I write 1 by lambda value is RH z square times, okay, 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, this much, okay, RH z square times, okay, 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Okay, now here your R is called Rydberg's constant. Okay, your RH is Rydberg's constant. Okay, RH is Rydberg's constant, and its value is 1 by 1.097 into 10 power 7 meter inverse. This R value is that much. Okay, right, and 1 by R value is 912 Armstrongs. Very important. Okay, this last 1 by R is 912 Armstrong. That expression is very important. Okay, it's not just important, very important, because in lot of problems while calculation of wavelength, this way actually helps us a lot. Okay, now, okay, hope you have remembered these formulas. Okay, points to remember: formula number 1, next formula number 2, then this RH value, formula number 3, and formula number 4. All these values you are supposed to remember. Okay, right, Hc value 1242 also you can use it, but because I have given 1240 in dual nature of matter and radiation, we will stick to this only. Okay, all right, now let's continue further. Okay, our next equation is, okay, our next equation is, okay, your energy levels. Okay, so this I'll keep, okay, important energy levels and their differences. Important energy levels and their differences. Okay, so what is this? I will tell you. Okay, so for hydrogen atom, okay, we'll be seeing. Now if you take this ground state, n is equal to 1, your energy value is E1 is minus 13.6, z square by n square is your energy value. Now out of this, if it is hydrogen, okay, for hydrogen z is equal to 1, so it is minus 13.6 by 1 electron volt is your first state value. Okay, next your second state, if you take, okay, n equal to 2, okay, it is minus 13.6 by 4, okay, it is minus 13.6 by 2 square, so minus 13.6 means your E2 value is minus 3.4 electron volt. This is E1. Okay, how did this come? Minus 13.6 by 2 square. Okay, next if you take the next state, okay, look at this, the energy gap is decreasing. Okay, here more gap, here small gap. In the next state further it will decrease. Okay, that gap will become further small. In the next state it will become further small. Okay, from bottom to top energy gap decreases. Okay, from bottom to top energy gap between successive orbits decrease. Okay, right, so keep this in mind, and your E3 value is, okay, your E3 value is, okay, E3 value is, it is minus 1.51 electron volt, which is minus 13.6 by 3 square, and your E4 value is minus 0.85 electron volt, which is minus 13.6 by 4 square. Okay, now what is to be remembered, I will tell you. Okay, first you should remember all these energy levels. Okay, if required, pause the video clip, close your eyes, remember these values. Okay, so what are the values? So minus 13.6 for first orbit, minus 3.4 for second orbit, minus 1.51 for third orbit and your minus 0.85 for fourth orbit. You should remember this while solving problems. Minus 13.6, minus 3.4, 1.51, 0.85. Okay, because in the problems, okay, you'll not be able to calculate these fractional values while solving the problems. If you don't remember this, things will become tough. You need to do lot of calculation to check which option is matching. Whereas if you remember this directly, you will be able to tell. Okay, next. Now your next important part is look at the energy gaps. Okay, between transition 2 and 1, energy gap is 10.2 electron volt. Okay, how did you get this 10.2? Okay, between 2 and 1, okay, minus 3.4 minus 13.6, that will give you how much? 10.2 electron volt. Okay, so if I say that, okay, if I say that I have supplied an energy of wavelength this much, if you immediately do Hc by lambda value, that Hc by lambda or 1 by lambda, lambda in terms of R, you know that, no, 1 by R value is 912 Armstrong. So from that, if you see that your energy value is close to 10.2 electron volt, automatically it will strike to your mind, if it is hydrogen atom, your transition is immediately what? 10.2 electron volt will indicate from 2 to 1. Okay, you should remember these values. Okay, that the energy gaps is also important. You should remember the values of E1, E2, E3, E4 as well as, okay, that gaps. 10.2 electron volt gap will indicate a transition from 1 to 2. Similarly, if you take the transition, okay, similarly if you take one more transition from 1 to 3, okay, 1 to 3, it is 12.1 electron volt. Okay, because later same things will repeat in hydrogen spectrum also. That is why I am asking you to remember this. It is very important. 12 point electron volt, 12.1, and then, okay, sorry, so from here to here, between n equal to here I should write it, this is n equal to 2, this is n equal to 3, this is n equal to 4. So between 1 and 4 transition, the gap, okay, between 1 and 4 transition, the gap is close to 12.75 electron volt. Okay, 12.75 electron volt. Okay, so you should remember E1, E2, E3, E4. Okay, if you are able to do that, it is good. From that, logically 10.2, 12.1, 12.5. So if energy is greater than 10, okay, one thing is sure, one of the orbit will usually be 1. Okay, that you will have a guess from the options. You can look, okay, which option is having that excitation state of 1. You can look from the options and then give the answer. Okay, right. Next, if you take the second one, okay, if you take the second one, okay, that is from n equal to 2. So from n equal to 2, if you take, your gap is 1.9 electron volt for 2 to 3. Similarly, it is 2.55. Okay, it is 2.55 between transition 2 and 4, 2.55, and then between 3 and 4, okay, I'll choose a different color. Between 3 and 4, okay, between 3 and 4, okay, between 3 and 4, it is 0.66 electron volt, 0.66 electron volt. Okay, right. So observe carefully. Okay, now the set that you take, okay, the set that you take, okay, I don't have the highlighter option, fine, no issues. So now, okay, if you look at this color, okay, which color I don't know, I forgot what is the color name. So this box 1, if you take, okay, all these energy gaps are greater than 10. That means if you look at this energy gap, you can say that one of the state is n equal to 1. Okay, exactly 10.2, 2 and 1, exactly 12.1, 3 and 1, exactly 12.75, 4 and 1 transition. Okay, so remember these values. Okay, it is very essential, you should remember these values. Next, if you take blue color, if the energy gap is close to 1.9 and 3, that means one of the state is n equal to 2. Okay, while de-excitation, if the emitting radiation is this much also, still you will be able to give the answers. Okay, you should remember this table properly. And the third one, if it is less than 1, So it is still further higher orbits for 3. Okay, so between n equal to 1, 2, 3 options, some combination is given like this. Okay, so if the energy gap is close to 10 volt or between 10 and 13 volt, obviously immediately one of the state is 1. So choose the options, and out of which two states will match, you check it. Next, if it is close to 2, okay, 1.9 to 3 volt, go for 2. Okay, like that. If it is hydrogen atom, okay, in hydrogen spectrum you will remember all this stuff. So hydrogen or hydrogen like atom, something they will give you. Okay, so hope you have understood what I have tried to explain. Okay, so I'll write it very clearly. Please do remember, okay, the table, please do remember the table and their gaps. Please do remember the table and their gaps, because if you remember the table, automatically if the gaps also you will be able to calculate. From the gaps you can decide transition. Okay, gaps, okay, these values help to decide transition faster. These values will help us to decide transition faster. Okay, so please do remember this. As you keep going from bottom to top, the gap decreases between two successive orbits. Okay, 1 and 2 it is 10.2, between 2 and 3 it is only 1.9, between 3 and 4 it is 0.66. From bottom to top gap decreases, so that is why spacing between the lines has been decreased. Okay, right? So remember this, take a minute time, remember these values. Okay, pause the video clip, remember what is there on the screen completely. Okay, right? So being a teacher, we will not remember, but because you are going to write chemistry atomic structure in the exam as well, questions could even come from that area, so you should not struggle. Remember these things. Now let's go back. Okay, so I have given the energy levels and all. Okay, now I need to explain certain basic terms. Okay, so excitation energy is there. What is this excitation energy? So from n1 to n2, okay, that gap if you supply, okay, the gap that you are going to supply is, okay, this delta E, okay, which is E2 minus E1. Okay, so E of n2 minus E of n1, this is only your excitation energy required to send it to higher orbits is your excitation energy. Okay, right? So next, similar to this, you will have ionization energy. I will talk, but ionization energy is somewhat different. Okay, excitation energy is energy required to make electron to excite to higher state, Okay, so that is your excitation energy. Okay, now your next thing is, okay, ionization energy. Okay, next thing is your ionization energy. Okay, so your ionization energy is, if you have remembered, if you take the nucleus plus Zt and let us say you have electron. Okay, now this total energy that you have is given as minus 13.6 Z square by N square. Okay, now this energy is also called as binding energy, because this binding energy is, okay, binding the electron, okay, to the nucleus. Okay, binding the electron to the nucleus. This total energy is also called as binding energy, because this energy is only, okay, if you have total energy negative, that means negative sign indicates attractive force. Okay, so this attractive force that you have here, okay, it is actually binding this electron to the nucleus. Now what happens is, if you take this scenario, okay, this total energy is this much. Now ionization energy is what? Is energy required to ionize, okay, ionizing in the sense that electron must escape to infinity. That much energy if you supply, that is your ionization energy. Now at infinity, what is there? At infinity, energy is equal to 0. At infinity, energy will be equal to 0. So your ionization energy is, okay, at infinity you should make the energy 0. So your ionization energy is, okay, already your total energy is minus 13.6 z square by n square is your total energy. Now extra energy if you supply plus 13.6 z square by n square, okay, so this is your total energy, okay, this is your total energy, okay. So this to this total energy, if you supply this extra term, okay, if you supply this extra energy, plus minus and plus they will cancel off, you will get 0. This extra energy that is required is called as ionization energy. This extra energy is called as ionization energy. So ionization energy is nothing but your total energy. The total energy itself binding energy. Only thing is the context of what you are defining is different here. That's all. Okay, right? So remember these definitions, remember these values, and then, okay, try to understand things. Okay, now, okay, with this your basic idea is done. Now let me do some basic explanation regarding spectral lines, and then we'll go to the different basic problems related to these expressions. Okay, so let me briefly, okay, summarize what we have learned so far in this lecture. The summary is your energy En2 minus En1 is minus 13.6 z square by n square electron volt, and your 1 by lambda is equal to Rh z square times 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, and 1 by R value is 912 Armstrong, okay, and 1 Armstrong is 10 power minus 10, 1 nanometer is 10 power minus 9 meters, okay. And then your energy gaps you should remember E1, E2, E3, E4, okay. So this is minus 13.6 electron volt, this is minus 3.4 electron volt, this is minus 1.51 electron volt, this is 0.85 electron volt. The gap between these two states, it is 10.2 electron volt. The gap between these two, it is 12.1 electron volt. The gap between these two, it is 12.75 electron volt. Then followed by, okay, the gap between these two, it is 1.9, okay, 1.9 electron volt. The gap between these two, it is 2.55 electron volt, and then here between these two, it is 0.66 electron volt, okay. This is n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to 4. These transitions you are supposed to remember, okay, right? Hope you have remembered these values, okay. Now let us come back, okay. So this I have discussed. Now, okay, you will have, okay, spectrum in your books, that is also called as absorption and emission spectrum, okay, absorption and emission spectrum, okay. So what is this absorption spectrum, what is this emission spectrum, I will tell you. So your absorption spectrum and emission spectrum, okay. So spectrum word indicates that it is a range, okay, it is some combination of particular lines you can assume, okay, combination of particular wavelengths you can say, okay. Spectrum word will indicate combination of some particular wavelengths, okay. Now what is absorption spectrum, what is emission spectrum, I will tell you, okay. Now if you take an absorption spectrum case itself, for example, first let me talk of absorption spectrum. So now let us say you have a nucleus, in the lower orbits some electron is there, okay. Now you have some photon in the sense, what is it, a light, okay. So your energy of light is hc by lambda plus this electron will have some n1 state energy En1. Okay, so because of absorption of photon, what will happen, this electron will go to some higher excited state. Let us say it is going to some n2, so that will give you, okay, En2. So from here your Hc by lambda is what, En2 minus En1. Okay, this is already known to you. Okay, absorption spectra means photon is absorbed to go to higher state. Okay, emission spectra means what will happen, same thing. Okay, so you have nucleus, in some other n2 state there is a electron. What will happen is it comes to increase the stability, it de-excites to some n1 state. Okay, so this electron comes back to some n1 state, plus you will have a photon being emitted. So this is your emission spectrum. Okay, absorption spectrum, photon absorbs, photon is absorbed and your electron goes to higher state. In emission spectrum, your photon is emitted by the electron which is in higher orbit to come to the de-excitation state. So in this case, what will happen is, initially your En2 is there, later it is coming to En1 plus Hc by lambda. Okay, same setup, same equations. Right, now next is, okay, we'll see something called as spectral lines. Okay, spectrum is the broad word used, but spectral lines is the specific topic from which we are actually going to get the questions. Now if you have n equal to 4, n equal to 3, n equal to 2, n equal to 1, now what are the different possible transitions is, each energy gap will give its own spectral line. So some electron, if it is here, okay, it could jump to, okay, the possible transitions are, okay, possible transitions are, okay, 4 to 2, 4 to 1 is one possible transition, 4 to 3 one possible transition, sorry, 4 to 2 and then 4 to 3, then followed by, okay, 4 to 1 after that. Now here 4 to 2 is also done. Now 3 to 2, 3 to 1 is another possible transition, then 2 to 1 is another possible transition. Okay, now here, okay, your electron can emit a particular light of particular wavelength depending upon which transition it is undergoing. Okay, which transition it is undergoing, that according to that it can give its own unique line. Okay, so now here totally how many are possible means, totally 6 transitions are possible. Okay, so 6 transitions, that means it can emit 6 spectral lines. Okay, 6 transitions, 6 spectral lines. Okay, right, so you have 6 transitions and you have 6 spectral lines. Okay, each spectral line, okay, each spectral line, okay, will have its own unique wavelength. Each spectral line will have its own unique wavelength. Okay, right, so now in general, okay, in general, what is to be remembered, I will tell you. Okay, in general, okay, the formula that you are supposed to remember is, between n2 state and n1 state, the number of spectral lines that are possible are, okay, number of spectral lines that are possible are, okay, it is n1 minus n2 whole divided by n1 minus n2 plus 1 by, okay, 2. Okay, now from where did this formula come, if you ask me? Okay, selection of n states in match permutations and combinations, you will write now NCR, NPR. Okay, from that you will get this, but it is not required. Okay, we will deviate too much. So this is what number of spectral lines. Okay, so it is n1 minus n2 times n1 minus n2 plus 1 whole divided by 2. This is your number of spectral lines. Okay, now your number of spectral lines between two states is, okay, between n2 state and n1 state is n1 minus n2 times n1 minus n2 plus 1 whole divided by 2. This is your number of spectral lines formula, okay, and I want you to remember this. Now between n equal to n and ground state, between excited state and ground state, so obviously n2 is equal to n, n1 equal to 1. So your number of spectral lines is, okay, n minus 1 times n minus 1 plus 1 by 2, minus 1 plus 1 will cancel off, n times n minus 1 by 2 will give you number of spectral lines. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to do. Okay, now take screenshot of this content, you just remember it. Okay, your question is how many different wavelengths may be observed in hydrogen spectrum. Okay, that means Z is equal to 1 if atoms are excited to states with principal quantum number n. So the question is long but answer is simple. Hydrogen atom Z is equal to 1. So if there are n states, just now we have seen n1 minus n2 times n1 minus n2 plus 1 whole divided by 2. Okay, so that will give you, this is 1, minus 1 plus 1 will cancel off, n times n minus 1 by 2. Okay, alright, next, our next question is, okay, monochromatic wavelength lambda is incident on hydrogen sample in ground state. Hydrogen atoms absorb fraction of light and emit radiation of 6 different wavelengths. Find lambda. That is your question. Okay, so what is your answer to this is, okay, so 6 wavelengths means, because from ground state n into n minus 1 by 2 is equal to 6, so n square minus n minus 12 is equal to 0, n square minus 4n plus 3n minus 12 is equal to 0, n times n plus 3 minus 4 times n plus 3 is equal to 0, n is equal to 4 or n equal to minus 3. So n is equal to 4. Now your, okay, 6 different wavelengths is there. So what is this lambda, it is asked. So now your lambda is what, between n equal to 1 and n equal to 4, because from 4 it is de-exciting to ground state. Okay, so your, for excitation sake, what is the wavelength required is lambda. So your E value is, okay, I mean Hc value, Hc by lambda is 13.6 times 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 4 square electron volt. 1240 electron volt nanometer by lambda is equal to 13.6 times 1 minus 1 by 16 electron volt. Electron volt will cancel off. Lambda value, how much you get, that is your final value. Okay, I think you will be getting it as 97.4 nanometers, or else you can use even this expression. 1 by lambda is RH Z square, hydrogen it is 1 times 1 by 1 minus 1 by 16. So from here lambda is 16 minus 1, 15. So 16 by 15 times 1 by R, so that is equal to 16 by 15 times 912 Armstrong. Okay, So accordingly 912 Armstrong is 91.2 nanometers. You can simplify and then give the answer. Okay, like this you will have simple basic questions. You are supposed to do those. Our next question is, a hydrogen sample is prepared in particular excited state. A photons of energy 2.55 electron volt get absorbed into sample to take electrons to further excited state B. Find quantum number of A and B. This is your question. Okay, so pause the video clip, try the answer to this question. I will continue the solution. Now 2.55 electron volt gap means, I told you it is between n equal to 2 and n equal to 4. Okay, in the previous class we have seen. Okay, so the gap will eventually reduce. This is n equal to 3, n equal to 4, n equal to 1. Okay, 2.55 electron volt means between 2 and 4 this gap is 2.55 electron volt. Okay, so if you have any doubts, this is minus 13.6, this is minus 3.4. I asked you to remember, right? So this is minus 1.51 and this is minus 0.85 electron volt. Electron volt is the unit. So the gap is 2.55. So that means your transition is between 2 and 4. Okay, so excited state B, that means state A is 2, state B is 4. Now because you have remembered the value, you will be able to give the answer correctly. But if you do not remember this stuff, what is it you are supposed to do? Hc by lambda is equal to 13.6 z square into 1 by n1 square minus n by n2 square. So 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Z value is 1, Hc value is 1240 electron volt nanometer, or gap. Okay, this Hc by lambda value is given, no? So 2.55 electron volt is 13.6 into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Then for this part you have to look into options. Okay, but this is lengthy. Okay, look into options to give the answer. Okay, so not a good idea to solve the question in this method. Okay, right. Next, I am not discussing high level advanced questions as of now. That I will take care in the separate lectures. Okay, so right now focus on the subject, that's all. Okay, right. Next, so your next question is this: a hydrogen atom in a state having binding energy of 0.5 electron volt makes transition to a state with excitation energy 10.2 electron volt. Find n1 n2 lambda. Okay, right. So come on, now you will be able to do this if you remember the state that I have given the values. Okay, so one of the states, okay, binding energy is 0.85 electron volt, that is your total energy. Okay, it is minus 13.6 by magnitude. If you keep a minus sign, minus 13.6, z square is 1 square by n square. So obviously n is equal to 4. For n equal to 4, this will be in the n equal to 4 state. Now it makes transition to a state with excitation. Okay, it makes transition to a state with excitation 10.2 electron volt. Okay, so excitation energy of 10.2 electron volt means between n equal to 1 and n equal to 2, the excitation energy is 10.2 electron volt. Okay, right? So now this atom is in state of n equal to 4. Okay, principal quantum number is 4, and it makes a transition to a state with excitation energy, means your electron is jumping from n equal to 1 to 2, and wavelength of radiation emitted is 1 by lambda is equal to, okay, so this is your second bit n1 n2, third bit is 1 by lambda is equal to rh z square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. 1 by lambda is r times 1 square into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 2 square. 1 minus 1 by 4 is r times 1 minus 1 by 4. 4 minus 1 it is 3. 3r by 4 is 1 by lambda. Lambda is 4 by 3 r, that is equal to 4 by 3 times 1 by r, that is equal to 4 by 3 times 1 by r is 912 Armstrongs, or 912 Armstrongs, or 91.2 nanometers. So substitute that, so that will give you the required answer. Now if you look at this question, okay, the language is very bad. Okay, trust me, the language of the question is very bad, because I did not prepare and then pick this question, but I would not pick this question if I have prepared, because look at the different aspects of this question. Now when he is talking of wavelength, okay, and this transition from n1 to n2, this excitation energy is matching to this, okay, fine, but what way this is related to this binding energy? This is binding energy of electron only actually, but I have written atom here, so that in the question, because it is given as atom, but for atom hydrogen atom, it only consists of one proton and one electron, but look at the language, it is bad, okay, it's not matching properly, okay, so he should not have given this bit. This calculation of n equal to 4 is absolutely useless, it's not giving any meaning, okay, this question is not giving any meaning. Any question you take, in the end it should test the subject in the exam, okay, the language is bad, okay, so don't worry if you are not able to do this. In fact, I don't like this question at all. Right, next. We teachers usually lose the joy of learning if we don't take the questions randomly, because that's randomly taking it, something new will be there to think and to write. If we mug up and do the same questions, we'll get bored, because same content, you try to teach in different ways. Every year you get updated, you interact with students, you learn subject, something new. Lot of things will happen. We'll keep updating, lot of things will keep happening all the time. So I'm not into that category who will mug up and paste some points. Today if I record some lecture, next year if I am doing the same, it will be in a different style, okay. All right, now next, your next question is, hope at least this will be better. The question is like this: a hydrogen like atom, atomic number Z, is in excited state of quantum number n. Excited state of quantum number n. Okay. This excited atom can make a transition to first excited state by 17 electron volt and 10.2 electron volt respectively. Okay, yeah. The question is this: this excited atom can make transition to first excited state by emitting two photons of energies, okay, energy spelling is going wrong, of energies 10.2 electron volt and 17 electron volt respectively. Okay, next, alternatively the atom from same excited state can make transition to second excited state by emitting successively photons of energies 4.25 electron volt and 5.95 electron volt respectively. Okay, find n and z. Okay, pause the video clip, try this question. Okay, now looking at this question, many people will get terrified, but trust me, it's not tough. Okay, it is easy only. If those who have understood the subject, for them it's not tough. Now, from n state, first excited state means n equal to 2. First excited state, n is 2. So, first it is emitting 10.2. Next, it is emitting 17 electron volt. So, that energy gap that you take, it is 10.2 plus 17. Totally how much it is? Okay, I can write it this way. Okay, 10.2 plus 17 electron volt can be written as 13.6 z square into 1 by 2 square minus 1 by n square. Same thing if you do it on the other side. From n state, it is emitting 4.25 followed by 5.95. To get to second excited state means n is equal to 3. This is your second excited state. Okay, so 4.25 plus 5.95, that is equal to 13.6 z square times 1 by 3 square minus 1 by n square. Okay, from here get the values. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. From 1 and 2, okay, divide. So that will give you 10.2 plus 17 means 27.2 by 4.25 plus 5.95 means 5 plus 5 10, 9 plus 1 10, 10 plus 2 12, 1. Okay, so 6 plus 4 10, 27.2 by 10.2 is 1 by 4 minus 1 by n square whole divided by 1 by 9 minus 1 by n square. Okay, now from here solve for n. You will be getting it as 6. Okay, substitute this n equal to 6 into any one of the equation to get the value of z. That will give you the answer as 3. Okay, you do it, because if I do it, it will kill time. Next question is, alright, so in this question he is linking photoelectric effect with the Bohr's model. Now first step is, okay, here some photons are coming, they are striking this, let us say some sodium metal like this, and after striking this sodium metal, whatever work function is there, that much energy will be consumed to remove the electron from the nuclear thing, and then kinetic energy of ejected electrons is given like this. Now he is asking this about these photons. This photon is coming because of a de-excitation of electrons in some other atom. Okay, this light, instead of coming from sunlight or something, it is coming because of some de-excitation. Okay, so regarding that he is asking, so what are the questions means? Energy of incident photon, quantum number involved in emission of photons, change in angular momentum, recoil speed, all these questions he is asking. Now let us try to solve these questions. Okay, so your answer to this is, okay, hope you have paused the video clip and tried it. So the first answer is your Hc by lambda is work function plus Ke max of ejected electrons. That is your photoelectric effect equation. Now your work function is 1.82, Ke max is 0.73, this much electron volt you are getting as energy. So your energy first bit answer is, okay, so E is, okay, 3 plus 2 it is 5, 7 plus 8 it is 15, 1 plus 1 it is 2, 2.55 electron volt. Number 2, quantum number involved. So obviously 2.55 means in hydrogen spectrum, okay, so your E1 is minus 13.6 electron volt, E2 is minus 3.4 electron volt, E3 is, okay, if you look at the table, what is E3 value? Okay, so your E3 value is minus 1.51 electron volt, E4 is minus 0.85 electron volt. Now out of this, which one is matching with 2.55 means, okay, so your gap of 2.55 is between, okay, 2.55 is between 2 and 4, okay, between 2 and 4 it is 2.55, okay, so you can simplify it accordingly. Okay, so your transition of 2.55 means between n equal to 2 and n equal to 4. Your third bit is angular momentum is mvr is equal to L is mvr, that is equal to nh by 2 pi. So your change in angular momentum delta L is asked. This delta symbol will indicate change. So that will become n2 minus n1 into h by 2 pi, because nh by 2 pi minus nh by 2 pi. So that will give you 4 minus 2, it is 2. So 2h by 2 pi, that will give you h by pi. Okay, so this is n1 and n2 is 4. Okay, next recoil speed is asked. So coming to recoil speed, if you apply conservation of momentum, if you take an atom, if it is at rest with initial momentum, the moment it emits photons, if this photon is coming with h by lambda is the momentum of photon, then your atom will be with m into v. So recoil speed is 0 is equal to minus h by lambda plus mv. So recoil speed is mv is equal to h by lambda, v is equal to h by m lambda. Okay, like this you are supposed to solve the basic questions. In place of h you substitute 6.6 into 10 power minus 34, and mass is, because we have assumed it is hydrogen atom, okay, he should have mentioned it, but no issues. So we'll assume hydrogen atom if nothing is given, because all these relations are valid for hydrogen only. Okay, if not, z value we have to consider. So substitute h, hydrogen contains protons, so 1.67 in 10 power minus 27, and wavelength of light, anyhow it is known to us. Okay, because the energy is known, E is hc by lambda. From this you can calculate lambda, substitute this lambda everything into this equation to get the final answer. Okay, like this you are supposed to solve the basic questions. Okay, right, so that's all for this lecture. In the next lecture I will be doing, okay, no, we will do some more basic models and then we will move ahead to hydrogen spectra.